Hello, everyone, and welcome to Stories of Inclusion. This is Kelly McLoud-Schingen, and we are coming to you with two very special guests today. My girl, Miss Patricia Coleman, also known as Miss Globaliscious, yes, and a very special guest, Miss Krystal Taylor from Fitness is Not a Game. We'll be getting started in just about 30 seconds. Hold on. And we're back. Welcome, everyone. Listen, I am so excited to have this conversation today with Miss Crystal Taylor. Hey,
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
and
good
my girl
morning.
Patricia Coleman. And listen, we've been talking about for Stories of Inclusion. We've been having conversations with amazing people from literally all over the world about what are they doing with regards to inclusion and work. And here we are with an amazing fitness specialist to talk to us a little bit about how she incorporates inclusion into her work. And we were made familiar with Miss Taylor through Miss Globaliscious. So I'm going to allow Miss Patricia to tell us a little bit how she met her and how she became inspired by Krystal.
Absolutely. Thank you. And welcome, Krystal, to the amazing platform of Stories of Inclusion with Miss Kelly.
Thank you for having me.
It's quite an honor. And this is family. And I'm saying this because when I needed it most, I found you. You know, as a global diversity coach, I helped so many people around the world. And I, at some point, realized I need to help myself first because I was being so drained from everything happening with this global pandemic. And we are a family of athletes, of fitness trainers. My children are in the industry. But I found right after confinement or deconfinement, when the stay at home was lifted, that with the revolution going on into the US, there was just so much fear, so much pain, especially in the Black community. And I found you, and it popped at me. It was Black Health and Fitness Revolution. And I had been thinking and speaking about revolution, evolution. This is the year where everything's going to change. And I was so into supporting people to make sense of this and supporting the Black community, supported women and supporting Black women. So I joined this group and I realized, wow, you had a slogan that just hit me. You are not your disease. And I realized, wow, I don't really have a problem. My little pain here and there and the extra pounds. And you know what? I'm a former athlete. I'm a dancer. I'm going to go in there and uplift women while I can get uplifted. And I received so much more than I gave. So I realized a coach needs a coach. And that's my big message today. A coach needs a coach. You need to be able to say when you need help. And it was a revolution. So I needed to share the secret and the gift by giving back what you gave me.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad we found each other. We worked together for how long? 4 months? 5 months?
It's been 4 months, and the journey is just going.
It's just starting.
Continuing.
It's just starting.
Good seeds. Now it's time to garden.
I absolutely agree, but yeah, with the Black Health and Fitness Revolution, it really hit me, as you said, it was the pandemic that made me really, really say, okay, something needs to be done. Because I think what really hit me was Dr. Fauci, when it first came out, when he gave the statistics of how many Black and brown people were dying as opposed to everybody else. And I was like, that's odd, like why? But then they talked about all of the our predisposed conditions and all of that. I just started thinking, like, all of those things that they're listing, they're preventable diseases, and they're considered to be preventable for a reason. Like, what are we doing in our community that is setting us up for what is failure? It's failure. It is not required. Nothing, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, they do not run in our families. The bad habits do. So that's when I said, okay, we need to do something to break those healthy cycles that continue to have us at the doctor filling out that form forever, trying to remember everybody who has high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, stroke. And it's something that can be changed. It can be changed. And my mission, and it's funny because when I first said it out loud, I was like, Krystal, that's a lofty mission. But now people are like, no, that's not big enough. So I'm like, okay, challenge me, because I like to be stretched. But my mission is to help 1 million families change their medical history. 1 million Black families change their family medical history. Because when we go to the doctor, they only ask us about 3 generations, us, our parents, and our grands. So if we decide to make the changes now and pass those down to our children, and they pass them down to their children, not saying that everything can be eradicated, because some things just do naturally happen, but we can decrease the percentage of us who have high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and things like that. It's not something that has to happen. It's not something that has to happen. We don't have to accept it. We don't.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I have to say that that's an incredibly powerful statement, to say we don't have to accept it. Because, I grew up hearing, my grandmother talk about, well, so-and-so got the sugar, and, so-and-so got, so it seemed like when you're around it and people talk about it so casually, that these are things that are just destined to be part of our life, right? And so tell me a little bit more about Miss Krystal Taylor. What's your story? How did you even get started on fitness in the first place? Tell us your story. Bring us in. Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, what had happened was, so just to introduce my friend to everybody, Miss Patricia already knows I am what I consider to be a water bully. So you would never see me doing anything without my water. So when I drink, I encourage you to drink as well. So because I believe water is bae. And I have to say that because,
and then I get back into it.
I have coffee over here too, but it's, I have my water first. But it's interesting you talk about the sugar and we just expect it to happen. So maybe 15 years ago, like I said, I drink water all day, every day. I can easily drink 100 to 140 ounces of water a day just because I like water. But one day I mentioned I was, you know how you go to a fair and they have these little booths of the nursing schools, and they're like, oh, can we take your blood pressure? Can we check this? And I believe in helping the students. So I'm like, sure. And I'm sitting there, and don't judge me, I just left McDonald's. It was an early morning event, and I had my iced coffee, and I think I had just eaten like a McGriddle or something like that. And when they took my blood sugar, it was extremely low. I think it was only like 60 something while I was drinking iced coffee. And they kept checking, and they were like, ma'am, you need to go to the doctor. Something's not right with your blood sugar. So I call my doctor and I tell them, what happened. And so they said, well, how much water have you had today? And I was like, oh, about 40 ounces. And at this time, it was only like 9 o'clock in the morning. And they were like, how much water do you drink? And I told them, and they were like, okay, yeah, we need you to drink if anyone's a mother, that diabetes test that they give you where you drink that syrupy stuff. So they made me take that test. And so it came back normal. But the doctor said to me, she said, well, Krystal, it came back normal, but due to your family's medical history, you're probably going to still get diabetes in about 10 years or so. That's what she told me. And I was just like, wow, really? She is like, yeah. She's like, even though you exercise, even though you eat, you have a fairly good diet, you're still going to get it because of your family history. And I remember that shocked me, like, oh my gosh, it's just going to come for me. That's been 15 years. Krystal does not have no doggone diabetes. You don't tell me that I'm just going to get it. So that was another thing that made me think, I'm like, doctors don't know everything. We do have the right to control what happens with our bodies. Some things happen, sure. But there are some things that we can control. And type 2 diabetes is one of those, like be active, drink water, and watch what you eat. But to answer your question, how I got into fitness, it was such a roundabout way. It really was a roundabout way. I'm not the average person, the average trainer or health coach that says, oh, I always knew I wanted to do this. I was the opposite, where I grew up thinking that I was fat, uncoordinated. I didn't think I could be an athlete or anything like that. But then I ended up going to the Army to pay for school. And then the process of, being there, that was the first time I saw my muscles starting to pop out. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, you can actually mold your body just by being consistent, But fast forward, I had children, and we know what that can do to the body.
Yes, we do.
And after I had my second son, who's 17 now, I just did not, I was not happy with what I saw in the mirror. And like a lot of people, I considered and even tried some of the drastic things to get my body back. I tried the fat burners. One time in college, I called myself going to be anorexic, but I like to eat too much. That didn't last too long at all. I think that lasted like 6 hours. I was like, no, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. But and that's what it was. After I had my son, I just started asking myself, Krystal, what little changes can you make that are going to get you back to where you were before? And I just started making small changes, and I started seeing my body coming back. And I like to give myself challenges. So I started with, like, Krystal, go run a 5K and see how that happens. How did it work? So I did the 5K. But honestly, when I decided to work out with a trainer one time. You know how the gym, they try to pull you in and like, oh, we give you a free session. And I remember working out with the trainer, and I was just soaking up everything that he said. I thought it was just intriguing how he had learned so much about it. So then the next challenge I gave myself, I did like a marathon and all of that. But in 2014, I said, Krystal, you're going to get on stage. Let's see if you can do a bodybuilding competition.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing about that was that, again, that training my body wasn't that hard. The no carb days were hard. Let's be real. But the biggest challenge for me at that time was mental, because I was like, Krystal, you really going to get on the stage in your underwear and be judged? But again, during that process, because like, as Miss Patricia said, coaches need coaches. So I actually hired somebody, and I just remember soaking it all up. And of course, because my body changed so much, now everybody's like, Krystal, what are you doing? You should train me. And I always just have fun going to the gym with people anyway. And I would actually print out people's workouts. I would bind them in books, and I would create nutrition plans. But, like so many of us, I have my undergrad in marketing, and I have my MBA. So I was in the process of trying to figure out what I was going to get my doctorate in, because, that's the ladder that we're supposed to follow, right? I'm trying to find what business venture I want next. But I didn't feel passionate about it. And then one day my husband said to me, he said, Chris, you are having way too much fun helping people with these workouts and these meal plans. He was like, I think you found your passion. He was like, that's it. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think people will pay for it. And he was like, Chris, because I told him, it's not like it's not rocket science to me. It just makes sense. And he said, that's the thing. Everything, when it comes to this field, so many people have struggles and challenges, but you just get it and you enjoy sharing it. So I threw it out there on the social media, and I said, hey, is anybody looking for a trainer? And people said yes. And Miss Patricia just heard the story. What made me the most excited was when my clients, the few I had, I literally had like 3 at first or something like that. But one of them, she just said, Krystal, I went to a wedding without Spanx this weekend. I only wore my stockings. And it was just the confidence that she had. And I was like, that's it. That's it. It wasn't about, trying to get perfect, because I don't have the perfect body. I don't try to get anybody to have the perfect body. It's about building healthy lifestyles so that you can at least feel comfortable in your skin, and we just live longer. That's just, it's such a roundabout story. I can never say I knew right then and there, but I did know when she said that. I was like, okay, this is something I can do, because the feeling was good. The feeling just that kept me in the game.
Yeah. And when Krystal recaps everything, all these pieces are coming back. That sense of family, that sense of belonging, that's the inclusion that brought me to bring you into this show and get me to Miss Kelly. But like you said, that passion, that change, passion, compassion, confidence. I mean, in 2020, it's a big change, right? And everybody's going through it. So of course, it starts with us with the Black Health and Fitness Revolution, but it's showing others that we are all going through the same thing. We're going through major change. And then so you yourself, you're a perfect story and proof that change is good. And what I like what you just said is it took Freddie to tell you, it took your husband to tell you that this is your thing. And we all have this in common. We try to hold on to what the system says. Do this, do that. You have to get the doctorate. You have to get the job. You have to get the benefits. Follow your passion. And that comes through. That's what I love about you. That comes through. you saw yourself, then you see us, and then you create those amazing, tailored, no pun intended, Krystal tailored programs. And I love you
Listen,
so much for it. It's amazing.
that's
I
the
didn't think about
tag.
that. That just came up, by the way. Krystal tailored.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, that's the thing. Tailored training, tailored fitness. Hey, shoot, Patricia, you might have some.
There
You
you
might
go.
have to.
Yes, like the marketing. It's the
I
marketing.
know.
Krystal Taylor give you Krystal Tailored program.
Yeah,
See, I might have to write that down a little bit and
yeah.
come back
Some
to it.
tailored training on Tuesdays. I don't know. Listen,
I
so
like it.
so our friend Brett has said, "Hey Brett, thanks for coming." He said, 1 million families. What a great goal! It will of course change habits for generation down the line. That's millions more.
Yes.
Absolutely. So one of the things that Patricia knows my journey of weight loss, and like most people, I have yo-yoed. I've been down at my goal weight, have been able to manage that goal weight, but I'm also an incredibly emotional eater. I will be the first one to tell you, and it started from an unhealthy relationship when I was in my 20s, because before then, I wouldn't eat. If something terrible happened or if I was very sad or something like that, I just wouldn't eat at all. So I didn't have this unhealthy relationship with food somehow comforting me. And then I went through this awful experience with being in an emotionally abusive relationship with somebody, and I needed something to fill that hole. And it ended up being, because I lived in Chicago, Harold's Chicken Shack, Chicago style pizza, Chinese food, all the little joints, Polish sausages and carrying on, and French fries covered in cheese and chili and all of the yumminess.
Yes.
And so as I was doing so well last year I was, just before we got into Christmas, I had already lost about 15 pounds, feeling really good, looking forward to committing to that. And then March hit and it was COVID, and May hit, and then we were dealing with issues of racism, again, in an astronomical way that really kind of mobilized the globe. And as a consultant who does work around healing racism, I had to manage my own emotional condition while I'm holding space for other people in their trauma. So I resorted back to what I feel like is a very warm sweater on a cold winter day, which is food I ain't got no business eating. So the pizzas, running through the McDonald's, or, the Chinese food. I love me some Chinese food. So do you have any recommendations? I mean, I know that this is work, right? This is part of your work, is to help people identify what their weaknesses are and help them get through things like this. But do you have like a quick and dirty thing that people should be mindful of if they know that they are, emotional eaters?
Sure. So quick and dirty,
Especially going into the holidays, right? The holidays right now are right. So anyway, go ahead.
and with the holidays, it's the holidays during the pandemic brings along a whole different dynamic, because we are already eating more during the holiday season. The average person gains 4 to 6 pounds during the holiday season. It happens. But then when you have a lot of us are separated and are going to stay separated from our families during the holiday season, which is something that's different for us, that level of, and let's be honest, the pandemic has brought along a level of depression in people, especially people who are people who love to hug, who love to travel, who love all of that stuff. This is a challenge. So when it comes to stress eating, it's really not stress, it's a lack of control. So when we say, okay, I can't control this situation, so you know what, I'm gonna show you how bad I am. I'm gonna do this. They tell me not to do it, so I'm gonna do it. That's what it is. It's a control issue. But I'll say this though, everything you listed, I love Chinese food. Even have chopsticks and everything. Like, I love Chinese food. But and Miss Patricia tell you, I don't believe in restriction. In my house, everyone knows. Miss Patricia, what happens on Fridays? Everybody knows pizza and wings every Friday in my house for probably the last 16 years. Help me, y'all. Please help me. I'm the only lady in my house. They won't let me break the tradition. But the thing about it is that with everything, it's about balance. Yeah. So, okay, have your pizza. That's fine. Have your wings, your Polish, go to Maxwell's and get your rice and all that good stuff. Right. I know, have all that stuff. But what are you going to do to balance it out? You can't eat like that all day, every day. Like I said, I don't believe in restriction, but with everything that you do has a result, right? So if you eat more pizza, the result is going to be here. If you eat more salmon and steamed vegetables, the result will be here. And if maybe you want to have pizza and salmon and meat somewhere in the middle, that's fine. But honestly, what I found, and I was thinking about this, so I have another coach. I have a mindset coach. And she told me when people ask about how I got into fitness, she always tells me, she challenges me. She said, Krystal, the story you tell is not why you're into fitness. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I know my story. How are you going to tell me? But she said that part of the story that I neglect when it comes to how I really took this on as my challenge and my mission is my mom. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in 2008, passed in 2010. And during that 18 months that she battled, I guess when I think about it now, it's ironic that was one of the fittest times in my life, because every time I got stressed, I would go running. Every time I got stressed, I would go to the gym. And I realized the clarity that it gave me and how it helped to release my stress levels. So exercise is the most underused form of stress relief, whereas food is the most overused. But then when we lean on that food, we're frustrated by the results that we get from it, right? It's like, it's good in the moment, but then we end up like, oh, I did too much. Not that you shouldn't have had it. Okay, I just did it too much. I kept on going. Whereas when you exercise, it's very rare that you're like, oh, I hate that I did that workout. Now, if you injure yourself, you might. But typically after a good workout, you feel better because it's naturally just, increasing your adrenaline. It's reducing those cortisol levels, increasing that serotonin. So it's just, there's so many benefits of it, but there's so many mental blocks that people have when it comes to exercise that it's hard for them to understand that. It's looked at as a chore, the necessary evil, not something that's enjoyable. But I believe you should do things that you enjoy. Exercise is purely movement, period. Nobody said you had to pick up weights. Nobody said you had to do CrossFit. Nobody said you had to go run a marathon. Do something to move your body that you enjoy, whether it's dancing, whether it's walking, riding a bike, doing yard work. There's so many different things that we can do to move our bodies. And I think that there's this mental block that it has to be this structured program for it to count. And it doesn't. And it doesn't. So as we're entering into the holidays with all of this food that's coming, I don't know about you all, my family didn't do anything for Thanksgiving. Well, we didn't go anywhere for Thanksgiving. It was literally just the four of us. But I cooked like it was a house full of us. and we ate. And, and a lot of it not planned. I've been thinking about what about making for Christmas Eve and Christmas. It happens, but there just has to be a balance with it. And, challenge yourself to say, okay, I'm not just going to hang out with this food and wine and cocktails. Let's not forget those. But I'm going to do something else that, where's the balance, and it's not a punishment. It's not, I ate this pizza, so I have to work out. No, honestly, being able to move your body, that is a blessing. At some point, you're not going to be able to. And then you're going to regret all the time that you let pass. And that's another thing I think about. I remember being in a gym one day, and Miss Kelly, you got to stop me because you see, I can get to going. I will keep on talking.
No, go ahead. I think that's important.
But I remember being in a gym years ago. I'll tell you how long ago it was. I was at Bally. So this was probably 10 years or so ago. And I remember being in the locker room, And there were just three of us. It was me, an elderly lady, and an obese lady, right? And I'm the only one. It's wintertime. So I would go to the gym with my workout clothes on, but I would have sweats and a hoodie or whatever on top of it. And I would just take those off, throw them in the locker, and go work out. And I noticed that I was the only one who was able to take off her sweats while I was standing. I see the elderly lady sat down to, take her stuff off. And then the lady who was obese, she sat down and took her stuff off. And I just remember watching, and I was just like, man, that could easily be me. One of these days, I'm not going to even have the dexterity to be able to balance on one foot. One day, I'm not going to be able to just rip it off and keep on moving. I'm going to have to take my time. So while I'm able, I'm going to use it. Because if not, that is disrespectful to anybody else who can't.
Yeah.
And maybe I was really in my feelings because that's when my mom was sick. So that had to be about 2008, 2009. Because I'm thinking my mom can't do half the stuff I can do right now, but she wants to. She wants to. So who am I to not appreciate the abilities that I have right now? And that's honestly how I look at it. There are too many people who want what we have, and we take it for granted. It's not always going to be here. It's not.
Listen, I really appreciate that because, and then we have a question coming from Patricia. But I think I have to say that you said two things that really resonated with me. The first thing, I think I even mentioned this to Patricia once, that within the last several weeks, there was one day that I woke up and I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm eating everything I want all day long. And I had that attitude. I told my husband, I was just like, I'm eating whatever I want. I don't want anybody to say nothing to me. I mean, I went smooth off. I don't know who I was going off on, but I was mad at everybody. And I was like, I'm going to eat some fries and a burger and a pizza and some lobster. I'm going to have whatever I want. And I just had this attitude of you ain't gonna tell me. And so that it really resonates with me, this need for control, because that happened, frankly, at a time when my schedule was at its toughest. I was transitioning. I still had a bunch of consulting work. I was transitioning into an interim full-time gig. I'm running a theater company. There was a lot coming down. We had a online production that was coming up. None of us knew how to do that, so I had to learn how to do that. And I was just feeling, in many ways, overwhelmed and trying to keep it together, right? And so the one thing that I was just like, you know what? Screw everything and everybody. Pull out the DoorDash, right? So I appreciate you kind of drawing my attention to that so that I can be mindful of it when it happens again. And the other thing that I just wanted to, who knows what I wanted to say. I'm just pass it off to Patricia, and then she's got a question for you. I'm sure it'll come back, and I'll ask again later. But
okay,
go ahead, Patricia. What you got?
Yeah, I think Krystal touched a nerve, and so I knowing Kelly enough, there's something blooming. So we hit the nerve. We hit the nerve. I was listening to you.
She did this. She did this for me because she been bugging me, telling me some Kelly. Let's walk together. Let's be on the phone and we'll go for a walk. I'm like, I ain't going for no walk.
Right now, it's 2020. I schedule my calls. It's walk and talk. Get on the phone, put on your end, and let's go walk. And you say, wait, we just walked for an hour. Yes, you did. So as I was listening to you, Krystal, 3 words, because I really didn't want to interrupt you. That would have been a crime. Stories, restriction, and movement. So it's not just about fitness, right? Today, it's really about health. And then we're in a year where health is the word, and starting with yourself, that self-care, right? So within our field, my message to everyone is you're going through a tough time, but you don't realize how much others are going through deeper tough time. And I say, as interculturalists, as global citizens, as coaches in our field, we are equipped. And we deal with transitions. We help people in global transitions. We help people grow new language, new cultures. And you got this. Some people just like, I could never say 5 words in Chinese. I could never move to another state, figure another country. So our stories, and you even said it, somebody told you, you're forgetting what you started. It started with your mom. So there's something that I say that pain is a greater motivator than pleasure. So when you see somebody that's sick, when you see a family member, you go, wait a second, there's something that I can do. So that was your motivation. And this year, there's just so much fear and so much pain. I've been pushing my clients and my friends. What's painful? Focus on that, because you are equipped to do something about it, right? So for you, it's your mom, and for me also, I've had so many. I call them bad news. I said revelations, an opportunity to have a celebration of life, a Globaliscious celebration of life. That this person got sick, got COVID, died, but guess what? There's everybody else staying, and we can come together and move forward with this lesson. So that's the story is so important. We all have a story. We are not reinventing ourselves. We're growing from who we are, just if through a new evolution. So that was stories. Then restriction and movement. So indeed, we're creatures of habit. Somebody tells you don't do this, that's what you want to do. Don't eat this, don't do that. But this year, this stay at home and really lock down in some countries has forced us to become very creative, right? So either we pick the potato chip bag, right, Miss Kelly, or we pick up the vegetables and become creative. So how many people said, oh, I painted, I cooked. And this Thanksgiving, indeed, a lot of people said, I didn't do a turkey, I did Cornish hens, I didn't do the macaroni cheese like I used to. I tried something else, because change is the buzz, and we need to catch it in a positive way, right? And of course, movement. I mean, everybody. I really didn't like the lift of the lockdown at some point, because everybody was just mentioning how, oh my God, less pollution, less movement, in a sense of less cars, nature, birds were singing, we went for walks, and then next thing you know, we actually officially lift curfews, and everybody gets back in their cars, wanted what's familiar, right? So I think the message that Krystal is giving us is start with pain, start with what you know, your story of different stages of change. Use that to say what's next, right? And just move, dance. And I mean, if we had Zoom parties, guess what? You can stay home, have 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you can handle, a glass of wines, and be silly and dance and move with your friends. So there's just so much. And that makes me come to the question that we have as this big revolution of a year, right? Whether it's fitness, but it was a health revolution. We all are facing an invader, an intrusion, an intruder, an enemy called COVID-19. I mean, that we need to protect ourselves with. And so it is a health, definitely, revolution, but it's also an evolution, a humankind evolution that we're all into. And we are December 15th. In a couple of weeks, we are going to go into 2021, preparing for it. And what usually happens is people saying, I can't wait till I, put this year behind me and start with the new year. Well, we said that a year ago, and look where we are. So every year we have this resolution. So my message and my question to you in my message and question is, how are we going to, what's your plan to, because I know you have maintain and gain, and I love the word gain, by the way, that Krystal uses. She uses gain. For us, gain is like, I don't want to gain any weight. No, you're gaining energy, you're gaining confidence, you're gaining. So she's doing something mentally in a time where we are really challenged with mental health, right? To change our language, to change how we see systems and habits, right? So what is your plan for, and I'm with you, and I will be with you as long as we have that same vision, that this revolution and evolution prepares us for the better us, right? We're not going into a resolution. Like, I haven't heard you say, what's your New Year resolution? I have a new program. What's your goals? No, it's an ongoing journey. That next year is not about resolution, it's about solution, thanks to this revolution and evolution that we're going through. So what are you planning for us to stay physically healthy and fit through the holidays into 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25?
I'm glad you listed all those years, because that's the thing. You're about to get me on a tangent, Miss Patricia.
Pick it up, Kelly. Pick it up, even if it's coffee.
Try not to get on the soapbox. But the thing about it, I get I theoretically or conceptually, I get new year, new me, right? It's new year, I'm gonna do these new things, right? But we know that typically lasts, if we're lucky, 6 weeks, right? The thing about it is not about it being a new year, new you. You have to live with that, your lifestyle, forever. It's a continuous thing. So what I've been focusing on, as you said, we're so close to 2021, and I'm so glad. I think it was you, Miss Patricia, who just said it. Everybody was waiting for 2019 to be over, and bam, 2020 came. You're like, whoa, wait a minute, let me rethink this. So I just saw something today about maybe 2020 hasn't been that bad. It's because we don't know what 2021 could bring. So let's just be in the moment, and think about and look at the perspective, put it in perspective of how it forced us all to be creative. I don't know about you, but I've met way more people this year virtually than I probably would have in person, so it's just that perspective. But what I've been focusing on ever since before Thanksgiving, because like I said, the average person is going to gain 4 to 6 pounds during this time frame, between Thanksgiving and the New Year. There's a lot of eating, drinking, and being merry, right? It is not as many exercises or, the balancing of it, right? So I have been each week for the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, I have been doing the maintain, not gain free training so that we could talk about the ways, and I give you 3 tips to avoid gaining that extra holiday weight. So we talk about putting those processes in place now so that you don't have to wait until 2021. Because the thing is that where you are right now, if you're thinking about, oh, I need to get myself together. If you've already thought about your New Year's resolution, you've already decided that a change needs to happen. Why not make that change now? Because if not, what you're going to end up doing is throwing yourself even further down that rabbit hole and pushing yourself further away from the starting line when 2021 hits. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're already frustrated with where you are now, but you're going to make it worse just for a phrase, New Year, New Me. And if it's just a phrase, then you haven't decided yet that you're ready for a new lifestyle. The average person will try 55 diets in their lifetime. 55. That's crazy.
And
Let me funny
up. Yeah, let me funny up on what you just said about New Year, New Me. We got a chance for everything new, everything different, everything slowing down, and I welcome that. I've been telling people this is the best year, and I've lost people, but it's been the best year because, my God, I got education for free. I slowed down. I mean, you know me, I stretch in the morning, I stretch at night, I breathe, I meditate.
Yeah.
New Year, New Me. We got new and change this year. And what do we say? When is everything gonna get normal? I want to go to the mall. No, you're not ready for New Year, New Me because you got a chance to have new and change. And then you always wait to say, I can't wait until this is over so I can. And then you don't. So this time it's time to shift things. And my slogan, Globalisciously stretching into change. Stretching is good. It's stretching you because it's going to make you better. And for me, it started with you. And it's after that, I'm paying it forward. That spirit of community that we have to fight this monster called COVID-19 and everything negative in the world, it will come with the spirit of community to support each other, what works for one and the other. So thank you so much for that. So no New Year, New Me. It's me, good, better, forever.
But this is the thing. You decide when your year is. Who said it had to be January 1? Because if you decide to make a change right now, a year from now, you're going to be in a better position. You're going to be happier. Your new year could start December 15th, December 16th. Every new day is a new opportunity. If you know that you want to make a change, if you know that you need to make a change, why postpone it? Why? And I said it earlier with the exercising. I just really think that people have this misconception that the changes have to be drastic and they have to be major. And they don't. It literally just small changes that we can make. And then on top of it, don't expect for the changes to happen overnight. Mm. Where you are right now, you've built to that place for the last few years. For the last few years, you said, oh, I need to get this together. Oh, for the last few years, you've gained some weight. So if it's taking you 10 to 15 years to gain that weight, how do you expect to lose it all and to be able to maintain it? Because anybody can lose weight. Let's be clear. Anyone can lose weight. That's an easy formula. Maintaining and sustaining, that's the key. That's the key. I can get you to lose weight right now. When you see those ads, oh, she lost 24 pounds in 2 weeks. Sure. Check back with her in 2 months. Let's see where it is. Because another crazy stat, 80% of people who lose 10% of their weight or more gain it back to weight as much or if not more. So here you have 50 people trying 55 diets in their life. 80% of those who are losing gain it back to way more. Why? If you willingly entered into something temporary, why don't you think you're going to get temporary results? You're trying a 3-week diet, a 3-week cleansing, all of this stuff. Sure, it'll work. But what's going to happen once you stop that? If you haven't adopted a real deal lifestyle, something that you enjoy, guaranteed as soon as you stop, your results are going to go away. That's just logic. That's just logic. So I told him this because I get on a tangent about this. I'm trying to maintain, but it's just...
I think that when you feel passionate about something, it comes through, and it's contagious when you have this level of passion. And like I said, Patricia has known my journey for a really, really long time. And whether it is, because I would tell her, you know what, I don't believe in restricting myself. If there are things that I want to have what I want. And then I just need to do what I need to do. I'm fully aware that I need to move more. I know that that's what I must do. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I need to get right in my head about that motivation that gets me up. I'm lucky now that my husband has been home for the last, since March, like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And he's very dedicated to fitness. He's even gone through knee surgery since we've been home, and he's still more mobile than I am. Mm. So, my husband, he got up, he was like, you know what, I'm going to go out for a walk. You want to go with me? Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. Let's go for a walk. It was snowing the other day. It was gorgeous. And he was like, let's go for a walk in the snow. And I was like, okay, I can go for that. It's been a while since I've been out in the snow. So I was excited about doing that. We took the dogs with us and stuff like that. But there's a lot of times when he says, I'm going to go for a bike ride. You want to go with me? Sometimes I say yes. Most of the time I say no. And I think it's about control. I don't think. I know it's about control. When all day long I have to do stuff, right? I have to be on this call. I have to send this email. I have to do this agenda. I have to create this presentation. That when I finally sit down to have a cup of tea and just chill, mm-hmm. and my husband says, let's go walk, it feels like something else that I have to do. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? So then I'm just like, no, I don't want to. Nope, no, thank you. So I have to work on my mindset to kind of switch and see that as an opportunity, because he says, I'm gonna keep on asking, and I'm like, please do, because there are times when he asks and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll get up and let's go for a walk. That'll be fun. But I do need to switch my mindset. There's something about that control thing that you're talking about that I need to say, let me gain control of my health, mm-hmm. instead of control of the food that I'm putting in my mouth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Let me gain control of my health. Let me get out in front of that, mm-hmm. because, like I'm on high blood pressure medication right now, and it is something that's been in my family for forever. Like the sugar, mm-hmm. I just assumed, well, my sister's got high blood pressure. My grandmother had high blood pressure. My mama got high blood pressure. My dad had high. Surely I'm going to have high blood pressure. So it's just a medication that I need to, take, be mindful of, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that I want to buy that anymore. I feel like there's a way for me to be able to get off of that medication, and the answer is to do something about it. And that's the mindset that I need to shift, is stepping
Kelly,
into that
yeah, you
do
said that.
and knowing
Kelly,
that do is right.
Kelly, you said something that's really loops back to what we're talking about with Krystal and this year. Um, when you talk about my grandmother and my mother, so why not me, right? Okay, I'm doomed. This is just a system that I'm part of. Okay, but you said it's an opportunity, and this year you've heard me say to a lot of people, with every obstacle there is an opportunity. Shift that big O of obstacle and say, what can I do to stop, right? To stop the disease, in the case of you're not disease, just to stop this ongoing thing. And you have an opportunity, just like in families, people saying nobody ever went to college. I'm the first one to go to college. Nobody did that in my family, or everybody's done that. What can I do to change things? Be the change agent. And a big part of change this year, one of the lessons in change that we have in 2020 is how much variety, how creative did we have to be? And you said it, Kelly, when your husband said, let's go walk. You know what prompted you was not the walk. It's like, ooh, it's pretty outside. I haven't walked in the snow in a long time. So just the variety. And Krystal got me hooked to her programs because she gives me variety. From one week to another, I'm like, I don't feel like this. I want Pilates. I want to dance. And the next thing you know, she's getting me to dance something from Russia, some dance moves from Africa. And I am happy because there's variety. And everybody wants variety, right? Because sometimes we go, I've been working all week. What can I do? Ooh, let's go to the movies. Ooh, let's do that. So we can control our lives by including a little bit of variety and change. And 2020 really has taught us we need to take that big obstacle into an opportunity. And this is where Krystal is really good at, because she comes up with things that tell people, ooh, I didn't think about it. I will try that. And I think it's a perfect, I don't want to ask you, this is a perfect timing for you to introduce to us, what have we learned? What can we maintain to sustain and then gain something new, not pounds. That's not about pounds. It's about being healthy and really all about energy, right? We needed really energy this year. So Kelly, opportunity to stop. I'm going to be on you.
And you know what, Kelly, with things like that, just hearing, Kelly, you sound like so many of my clients, who, especially the clients that I have who are business owners, the decision fatigue takes them out, But with that, what I would I just had this conversation with one of my clients the other day. I asked her, I said, what are some of your non-negotiables? Like each day, what are some things that you absolutely feel you have to do? What makes you happy, right? And at some point, and I asked that because I realized for me, a non-negotiable is for me exercise. And I had to prioritize it because I know that once my day gets started, the day is over. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, the day is shot. I don't know which calls are going to come in, which emails, which, fires are going to come up, you never know. And so I realized that I think for me, and I encourage, and I say this, and I'm leaning forward, so I'm talking to you, Ms. Kim. For my business owners, yes, come on, lean on it. For my people who run their own businesses, if it's not for you per se, not here, just think about how it impacts here, how it helps you get through your day. It's just that clarity that comes after that good sweat in the morning makes it easier to tackle the day. So if nothing else, for it to give you the energy, the calm that you need to make it through what could be considered to be a stressful day, then yeah. And then on top of it, when you've thought about working out, right, you're like, you go to bed, say, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. That's your plan. Then you get up and you say, you know what? I don't know if I feel like it. Let me do all this other stuff. And you might even put on your workout clothes, right? Let me do all this other stuff. And then we'll see if I can get in around lunch. Oh, lunch is busy. And so all day, you're still checking your time to see if you're going to be able to work out. So instead of being able to focus on what all this other stuff that you have to do, some of that, and like I said, for my business owners, that decision fatigue, there's still this part in the back of your head that's trying to get through your day, but still trying to see if you can pull in time. I don't know how we find time because there's no such thing. We have to make it, right? So that's, if nothing else, just get up in the morning. And all you need is, Miss Patricia, tell me, when you said earlier, you said, what do you say? Give me the quick and dirty something, something. I said, I like quick and dirty because even my workouts, 30 minutes. I don't have time to spend hours working out. No, for what? You don't have to. You can get it done in 30 to 35 minutes, maybe 40, and just have the clarity, do something good for your body. You know, it helps. The top CEOs always talk about the benefits of exercising. You know, it's just what it brings to your overall fitness, because fitness is not just what we see in the mirror. Fitness is what's internal. Fitness is what we have here. There's so many benefits to it. And then, you know, like I said, I don't believe in restriction at all. Eat your food. Eat your food. But it's a balance, though. It truly is just a balance. So that's why I don't knock you at all for your pizzas and all that stuff. But, you know, it's just you feel better after you've done it. If nothing else, there's a confidence. And I'll tell you this, let's be real. When you exercise, that's why those memes are so popular. The pictures of Diddy laying on the steps, me after one workout because I feel like I killed it, or, you know. But when you actually exercise, every time you tell yourself that you're making gains, you see yourself differently. There's a certain level of confidence that you have from exercise because you are proud of the work that you're putting in. Whereas when you don't exercise, every time you look in the mirror, you're like, man, I need to stop tripping. Whereas just from exercise, you're like, oh, yeah, I see this. I need to keep at it. Because once you see results, it becomes an addiction.
Yeah.
You know, so, but it's just and let's be clear. I believe in being extremely honest and transparent. When you were talking about that day where you were like, I'm going to eat everything I want, leave me alone. I stopped eating beef in high school. So people know now, if you see me eating beef, leave me alone. I had a bad day. And I just felt like it because I've had those days. Not too long ago, a couple of years ago, I remember I told my husband I need a burger. My burger was so big that my husband and my son, they took a bet on whether I could finish it. I had that big old burger that had everything on it. I think it had it. I don't remember all the stuff it had on it. It was huge. Fries and the beer. And I finished all of it and sat back and was still hungry because I was in such a mood because that can happen. But the thing is that we know that after we finish, it was good at the time, but how we feel afterwards may not be that great. And then we just get back on it tomorrow. Okay, yeah, I had my day of just going for it. Now tomorrow, let's do what I know I'm supposed to do. Don't beat yourself up when you have those days. Just don't stay in those days. That's the thing. And that's just like with anything else. You are absolutely entitled to have whatever feelings you have, and just can't stand those deep in those wells. You know, just 30 minutes, you can get it done, feel good, you know, get your walk in, go walk with your boo and your fur babies, and you feel better about it. You feel better about it.
You know, I have to say, so one of the things, what'd you say, Patricia?
No, go ahead. I was just about to say it's really easier. We make it complicated. It's easier than we think. I mean, I was waving my water at you to remind you to drink a little water. But for me, you know, because we do, you know, global diversity work, Kelly and I, when I speak to people about water, what I learned in our group, Krystal, is that people are struggling to drink water. What can I put in my water? I need some juice. I need this. I said, no, you don't. I mean, you look around the world, and water is the first thing that people drink. I mean, water washes everything. You know, you don't feel good, put water on your face. You know, you're having anxiety, you must say, drink a little water. You know, the water is at the root of everything, and water is what gets us going. And this, to me, that was the biggest message, because when I traveled around the world, I realized how much water is so part of life. I mean, I'm multicultural and multiracial. I am a French American. And the French part, everybody tells me, but you're not really French. The part of me is. There's a book called French Women Don't Get Fat. Well, I got cursed because I've got the African blood in me. But this book was really, really great because this woman lives in the US and speaks about how she gained so much weight moving into the US because of the way that everything that we talked about. So we're not going to go over it. But the way that she maintained and sustained, and that's the point today, water at her desk all the time, a big bottle of Evian, good mineral water, walking up the stairs, don't take the elevator for one. And so this year I'm noticing, like I was saying, let's walk and talk. The minute you get a phone call, make it that, okay, I'm going to talk to this person and walk. Why are you lounging around? I mean, even in the Zoom sessions that I've been doing in Globaliscious, I have some where you're not allowed to sit at all. Just put your phone or your iPad or your computer away, stand up, dance, move, line dance. So, yeah. Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, so I love water is not my problem. I love water. All I drink all day long is water and tea, honestly. I think that if I add anything into that, it's usually a glass of wine or something like that. So I don't tend to have any trouble with water. So that's not my thing. I mean, I can get in a gallon of water easily a day without thinking, so that's not my problem. For me, it really is getting my butt up. And that's and moving and being flexible, because I used to be, I was a cheerleader for, about 12 or 13 years of my life. I was a dancer. So I've never had to work out before. I never had to. It wasn't a thing because I was always cheering or in a musical or dancing and singing on stage, so I was always moving. Some of my jobs that I had were performing wait staff, which meant that I was on my feet all the time, waiting tables, but then I would also do a Broadway musical smack in the middle of it. So I was moving all the time. It was just when my life became rather sedentary. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, I've always been able to eat what I wanted to eat, but the thing that changed was the movement. And so, which is why I'm saying, I know that movement is what I need to do. Listen, we've got just a few minutes left. But I know we could go on and on and on, but I want to show this and allow you and Patricia to talk a little bit about this offer that you have for folks. So again, just a reminder, everyone, that the name of Ms. Taylor's business is Fitness Is Not a Game. And I love that name. I just think that it's for real. It just brings it home. So tell us a little bit about this offer.
Okay, Miss Patricia, you want to take it or you want me to take it? You're muted.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so no problem. Yeah, I know there's a little bit of the static background. Like I said, everybody that knows me well, I'm all about giving so much that at some point in my life, I was forgetting about myself. And this year, yes, I did self-care, but giving it, forward is so important. So paying it forward, I do want people to stay in touch with us. I've asked Krystal, Krystal, we need to keep 2020 as a year of evolution for us. We can't forget it. I said, it's need to give us a clear vision, a 2020 vision. We're going to shift things around. So let's give something with 2020. And she goes, well, we're going to give people 20% in 2020 to do something great. And so the code inclusion 2020, everybody mentioning that, we know that they either watched the show or heard us talk about it, or somebody said to somebody, so we're paying it forward. And then when people see my name, P. Coleman, it means that, I'm here with you. Krystal is here with you as a health coach, health and fitness coach. I'm here with you as a global life transition. There's just so many resources. Connect with us, be part of our movement of evolution, revolution within, because we're turning this big obstacle into an opportunity. So there's just so much that Krystal is doing, and I'm right in the middle of it as a participant, as a cheerleader, and it's just the beginning. So how are we going to make 2020 even better?
Yeah, and I don't believe we have to wait until 2021 to get started. So, but you see, the fitnessnotagame.com/work, because work is the workout revolution with Krystal. Cheesy, but I believe in it. It's the truth, But the thing is that it's a 4-week program where you receive workouts and sample meal plans. You get a downloadable PDF. We do weekly Q&A sessions, and then in addition to the workouts, you don't work out every day. I don't believe in that at all. You typically get about 4 workouts a week. You receive the workouts via email the night before and via text the night before and the day of. So you don't have to worry about downloading apps or anything like that. And you just literally open your phone or your email, click the button that you want. And I have regular and low impact workouts. So what I found was that there are a lot of people who have issues with their joints or been able to get up and down off the floor. So they're low impact, and you just literally open the email or the text message, click the link, and it's a full-length video, and you just follow along. Like I said, most workouts are done in 30 minutes, maybe 40. And for the regular program, there's absolutely no equipment needed at all, because I believe that you should be able to use your body for everything. Being able to move your body, being able to lift your body, if nothing else, that is a survival skill. We talk about this whole revolution thing, and I don't know about you all, but this year I was really wary. Ms. Kelly talked about how May just brought on a different environment. It had already been rough for us, but it was different. And so my thing is, if things really go down, we need to be able to protect ourselves, save ourselves. So that's why I like body weight, and especially for my women, I love strength training. So many of us are afraid of doing it because we think it's going to bulk us up or aren't exactly sure what to do. But I include a lot of strength training, and strength training is not lifting weights. Strength training is just going against gravity to build those muscles. So, and as Miss Patricia said, because it is the year of giving, with that code Inclusion 2020, everyone would get 20% off to start the program. And like I said, why wait till 2021? Walk into 2021 like a boss with the doggone skills already in place. You have 2 weeks to get started with those habits of 2021 not being new year, new you. You just already have those habits so that the entire year is going to be a good year. So yeah, that's what we have for you out, and I hope to see all of you. We have a good time. The Q&A sessions on Saturdays are every Saturday morning. We do a Q&A with all of the clients, and when I tell you, it is come as you are. It is so much fun, and it's just a good way to connect with other people who are doing everything they can to live a healthier lifestyle. Because unfortunately, and this, I shouldn't bring this up because we're at the end, but unfortunately, sometimes the people in your life, they don't get it and they don't support it. And sometimes you have to find the support of strangers that becomes your family. You find your tribe there. So that's all I'm gonna say about the Saturday morning Q&A. Saturday morning Q&As are awesome.
Listen, I want to thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much for bringing Miss Krystal Taylor to us, the fitness guru. Fitness is not a game. I'm so happy that you're here. It inspired me, that's for sure. So, I hope that it has inspired many of our listeners or those who are watching. I want to thank you so much for your time. Patricia, thank you. Ms. Globaliscious, thank you for joining us. And I want to invite everybody to take advantage of this. And if it's not Ms. Taylor's program, find yourself a program that speaks to you. Find yourself something that you can do that helps you to take care of your health, particularly at this time as we're entering into the holidays. As we started this conversation saying that people are going through levels of depression, where the pandemic has thrusted people into a place of depression. The racial injustice that's happened across the globe has re-traumatized and deepened the trauma that many of us experience around this. So we need to be mindful of the ways that we can stay healthy, not just in our bodies, but also in our minds. So I want to thank you for this time. My business tagline is "Culture is a treasure that will follow its owner everywhere." I think the same can be true about health, right? Health is a treasure that follows its owner everywhere. So until we see each other again, until the next time, treasure people, treasure stories, treasure culture. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming, everyone.
Thank you.